have with me Major Mohommed Ali Shah. Before we move on, Major Shah, if I can get a quick comment from you on this particular story as well, sir. The FBI director and the MI5 chiefs, they've come together in an unprecedented press conference, and they've warned business leaders in their countries against Chinese activities, against activities of the CCP and the Chinese government, and they've said that it is these two institutions that pose a threat to their economic and national security in the long term. This is quite a shift in our global understanding of what modern day threats are all about, and this is essentially a reminder, given what's happening in India as well, with all these Chinese firms and their directors now coming under the scanner for money laundering, for potentially spying on Indian consumers. You know, it's all just coming together as a big realization for everyone.
Threat, and not just a potential threat, they are a threat as it is. They've already done invisible invasion. Invisible invasion is through technology, because they are good in technology, we have to accept the fact, and they have captured most of the technology without people realizing that they are using Chinese apps. They are promoting them. So yes, most certainly, and China is, they will never improve. They will never be, they'll never come in line. They'll always be incorrigible. They will always creep up their construction of schools, railway bridges, air bases at the border, at the line of actual control. They will do all the nefarious activities, all the untrustworthy activities, all that you can imagine in your wildest dreams. China will do that. Why? Because they follow one philosophy of Sun Tzu, which is in the art of war. They say to win wars without fighting. So China they are very scared to actually come on a face-to-face confrontation. And in fact, Sun Tzu also mentioned about the importance of spies. And in olden days, we had pigeons, we had animals, but here they are using technology. On 19th of June 2020, there was a major cyber attack on Australian servers. Their head of state, Mr. Morrison, was very, very magnanimous not to mention the nation, but we all know it was China which had done that. So China and Pakistan, in fact, in Hindi, if you say something that "Khoob banai jodi ek," something like that, they are saying like that. So these two countries are totally incorrigible, totally untrustworthy, and we have to be extremely cautious while dealing with them for anything.
Right, absolutely. I thank all our guests for joining us on the broadcast, but I request you all to stay on as we shift our focus to some more breaking news that's come in. External Affairs Minister S. Shankar has met with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Bali, Indonesia, as the two focused on specific outstanding issues in bilateral relationships pertaining to the border situation. They've also spoken about other matters, including students and flights between India and China. Major Mohommed Ali Shah still with us on the broadcast. Major Shah, of course, the big focus of the talks was the border situation that we've been trying to navigate for many years now.
Perceive it as there are 4 different lines of actual control. Not just one. There are 4 different lines of actual control. One is our perception of the line of actual control, their perception of the line of actual control, and our perception of their perception of the line of actual control, and their perception of our perception of the line of actual control. Now the trouble with China is that, it's very difficult to understand them. We have not really understood China. If we have not understood China, they have also not understood us. So yes, it is this dispute, and China has never honored any of their treaties with us. Any, you name it. 16 rounds of military talks, of co-commander level talks, 16 rounds, all resulting in a stalemate, all in a waste of time, and they have continued doing their nefarious border activities. In the year 2008, they had mentioned that, one of our bureaucrats who belonged from Arunachal Pradesh, they said we will not give him a visa because he's he's Chinese and he does not need a visa. How ridiculous is that? China has repeatedly renamed Japanese islands, trying to take control over them and claim over them. China has made friends with Solomon Islands. China has made friends with Cambodia. China is going, they have their future plans of 2050 already ready, and they know where they are going. So it's very important at the moment to actually, that is why then, see, NATO, apart from NATO, well, NATO countries will favor the Western powers. Of course, they will feel like Ukraine. But similarly, I'll give you a parallel to NATO. We had formed a pact where therefore the Quad, the four countries, America, India, Australia and Japan, we will curb the Chinese aggression in the South Pacific, in the Indo-China Sea, and we will keep an eye over China's nefarious activities on the borders, on the waters, everywhere. But China has got the strategy, a very smart strategy of taking one step behind, no doubt about that, when people are looking. But when no one is looking, they will take 2 steps forward. So yes, China's activities have to be curbed at any cost.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Meteor Shah, for joining us on the broadcast with your insight on that particular development that's taken place internationally.